It's the Sleepers Podcast. It's Friday, October 10th. It is Game 5 of the American League Divisional Series. My ace is on the mound, and if he invites the Seattle U baseball team, I'm going to throw a tantrum like a tiny little 2-year-old. How are you, Dion?
I'm doing pretty good. We discussed this a little offline. Card and I recorded yesterday for the first time since the infamous 40% of the content had to be removed day. I learned I don't know how to tell time, G.
Ah,
Um, that's a big problem. I don't think Cart does either. And we're taking not being a math podcast to a different level. We don't know what 10 minutes is.
I mean, you don't got that rollie on the wrist? Chrome on my pinky, for gosh sakes?
What did Russ say? Ever since I got the rollie, I ain't got the time.
There you go. No, I just botched that. So I found this TikTok the day that Cart and I went to game 3. I was made aware of a TikTok where this like random white kid is talking about going to war. And he goes, whenever they hit me with men used to go to war, yeah, they still do. Millions do. Not me. I'm in a cashmere sweater. I have chrome on my pinky, for gosh sakes. And that's just like, it reminds me of when Cart says I'd serve crack before serving my country. So I sent it to him, and Cart's response was like, I've had that saved for 5 months, just waiting for the right time to deploy it. But chrome on my pinky, for gosh sakes, is going to be in the daily lexicon now.
Speaking of Cart, did you watch the full episode? I hashed out a big issue I had with the game three performance.
No, talk to me. What happened?
The lemonade, um, in the tequila. Now he told me, and see, we can't have this stuff. I let him know we can't have this. That was his moment to go get you one. He told me he asked for a tequila soda. The guy said what twice, and he panicked. That's an omen for what happened in that game.
Yeah, I think the lights were a little too bright. The rain was a little too delayed, I would say. Now, Cart and I were there. We executed our plan to perfection, right? We got down there roughly 3 hours and 45 minutes before the first pitch was scheduled. We knew that. We were down together for about an hour before our other two in the crew joined. That was enough time for him and I to each be 3 cocktails deep by the time anybody else joined. He did order me a tequila based drink, even though he knows I don't drink tequila. That was the first sign of things being a little bit awry. Then, as our crew started showing up, it became clear it's going to be a rain delay. Like, it was like the game has been delayed. No further update for now. So we're sitting at a table. Cart and I are probably 5 drinks deep at this point. Our friends had just showed up. A random man who knows Joel Zumaya came by. Did you hear that story?
I didn't hear that story.
So this random guy from California, I think from Oakland area, came by and was like, "Yeah, I'm here for just 2 days. I just got to tell you guys, I'm so happy to be here." And we were like, "Well, why are you here?" And he was like, "Well, I'm actually a softball teammate of Joel Zumaya's. Do you guys know Joel?" And Carter looked up and was like, "That's my favorite Tiger ever." I literally tweeted Joel Zumaya is my number one Tiger 3 days ago. So we thought this guy was bullshitting because he kind of had the look of like, I don't know, just a sketchy guy who was lying. And then all of a sudden, he started FaceTiming Joel Zumaya. So Cart got to say hi to Joel Zumaya from the bar. Once that happened and we were in a rain delay, it was over. It was like, it was the worst thing that could have happened to us. We actually missed the first pitch once the game came back around. There was no way we were winning with the tone that we set.
Did you know his uncle played on the Tigers?
Carter's?
Yeah.
That's not true.
He said that yesterday. I don't remember if it was the full episode or a short, but he just like tossed it in there. He's like, "Yeah, my uncle's on the '84 World Series team," and he goes, I think his words were, "He wasn't the shit or anything, but he was on the team."
Yeah, it's not true. I'm gonna phone him in here. Just did you call him out for that?
I just said, "Are you
Hey,
sure?"
Cart, you're live on the Sleepers podcast right now. It appears you told Dion that your uncle was on the 1984 World Series champion Detroit Tigers team. That was a lie, right?
No, it's not.
Yes, it was.
No, it isn't.
Your uncle was not on that team.
Yes, he was.
Who?
His name's Barbaro Garbet.
Barbaro Garbe.
Yes.
If I Google this, it's going to tell me that's a player on the team, isn't it?
Yes. Would you like to know how to spell it?
He's
Hold on.
Cuban.
Yeah, this is a Cuban man.
Yeah, I know. He married my Aunt Kim, who's my mom's sister. And my godmother, by the way. Shout out to my Aunt Kim.
Oh
Hit
my
two.
God, this is real. Because I know your family's maiden name, and I just Googled Barbaro Garbe wife, and it is your family's maiden name.
Yep.
How come you've never discussed this?
I'm grounded.
Your uncle is a World Series champion for the
Yeah.
team we root for,
Yep.
and you don't even like baseball.
I like it.
Is Uncle Barbaro still around?
Yeah, he's still with us.
Was he at Leon's party?
Yeah, he was.
I'm so sick of you. Send me the newsletter. This is ridiculous. Goodbye.
He also he was saying how he used to go to Tigers games as a kid and sit like fifth row.
Yeah, I mean, he said he married my Aunt Kim, and I Googled Barbaro Garbe wife, Kim Grutza. That is the maiden name I've heard. Grutza. So like apparently this is insane.
I mean, I think it's a sign. I feel like things are coming up Tigers at the moment.
I just honestly, I mean, this guy just looks like a Cuban Carter.
It was so funny when he was like, yeah, he wasn't like great or anything, but he was on the team. I was
Wait,
just
so
like, all right,
Carter has a cousin named Gabby who's now an intern for the Tigers.
you
Oh
guys need to
man,
know that at least.
this
That
is
that one needed to be known.
this is wild. All right, well, I don't know if that helps us or hurts us tonight in Game Five. I'm hoping it helps, but should we get to the show? Do you have a YouTube comment today?
Yeah, give me 1 second to pull it up. I got distracted by Uncle Barbaro. That was not the name I thought Cart was gonna say, by the way, at all.
Barbaro
Um,
Garbe is crazy.
um, they said, or what is it? Brett Owet 7485. We love the three-person podcast. It was definitely all over the place, but I cried laughing. I think that's probably a great way to describe it.
Yeah, that's how we want it to be, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah, that's what we want it to be. Thank you for that. Seemed like that was well received. Should we do that more, or should we never do that again?
Card and I were saying we should do it more, but also is that one of those things where if we give it too much, like it takes away like the enjoyment from it?
I think at maximum it should be a once a month thing.
Yeah. Like last day of the month or like first day of the month type of deal.
It would feel special if we did it that way. So, okay. All right. I like that. Let's go to the Discord. Join the Discord. Number one way to support the show. We appreciate the great community that we've built there. Where did you guys leave off yesterday, Dion?
Let me take a look. I want to say we left off. We definitely didn't do the Malik Flurry. Um, I think we left off with Hoosier in Coogee.
Hoosier and Kuji, who says, Cart, you mentioned Western Reserve in Ohio is where your coach called you out for being a fat ass. I assume this is the same Western Reserve Anthony Thompson currently attends. Will seeing him play next year make you relive that moment over and over? I believe it is where Anthony Thompson is, but Carter doesn't dwell in the past.
Speaking of the past, by the way, the tournament Carter told us he won. Did you see he lost it?
No, is that a real thing?
That's a real thing. So that tournament he told us on the Three Man podcast he won, he actually came in second, and the t-shirt he received was for second place.
Okay, so we at least caught him in one lie on this episode. That feels good. Burner 605 says Fletcher Lawyer is a role player. A lot of healthy debates over the definition of a role player coming out of our three-man episode. I still don't think we landed on something anyone agrees on here. In fact, Burner was trying to tell us KJ Adams was a role player, which at first glance I agreed with, but then you realize one year KJ Adams was a top three player on Kansas, averaged 13, 5, and 3. That's not a role player. So I think to bring you back into this the biggest question of this is Draymond Green a role player
Yeah,
for the Warriors?
yeah.
Even the all-star version of Draymond Green.
I think you can be a role player that's a star too.
All
Like
right.
you, Rich Paul says you can be a star in your role.
He does so many different roles for that team though.
Yeah, he's a star, and I can't believe I'm quoting Rich Paul. By the way, yuck.
Times have changed. It's insane. Whoa, Eric Spoelstra, the new USA national team coach.
Oh, Kirk quit.
Spo.
Maybe Kirk will quit the Warriors job too next. That's
Oh, that
what
feels good for us. He's locked in. My coach is ready to get us one more. All hail the Pope says, so KSR talked to Yelovich. He talked to Big Z, and he said eating Papa John's is the restaurant that made him sick. Thoughts? When was anyone sick?
someone got sick off Papa John's.
I mean, that's on you for eating Papa John's.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't know what's in Kentucky, but Papa John's can't be like your go-to pizza spot.
Yeah, I don't know. Fam, we have to address this. Fam says Happy Bluffs Friday. Y'all know how we rock. No bluffs today. No Riley on a Riley Friday for the first time forever. Riley asked off of the Friday on this schedule, I believe.
Is everything good? Is he on vacation?
I think he's just been busy. He's been busy, but right, yeah, Riley will be back soon at some point. I think either that or he's ducking everything North Carolina related. Fam says Bluffs. We got a big one in Seattle today. Are you jumping on the bandwagon with us or what? Preferably watching the game from that Carolina Blue Friday patio tailgate. I know that place has seen 0 L's in its lifetime. Go Tigers. This seems like a bad omen that Bluffs isn't here for that comment the day of Game 5.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. By the way, I want to point this out to everybody. If I missed a day, we would be discussing like if I'm in prison. Riley actually went to jail at one point, so like I want the same comments.
Okay, I'm gonna pull an executive decision here, and I'm sorry for what I'm about to say because I don't like this, but I'm gonna say it. There's a Malik flurry coming of 13 consecutive comments. I just out of solidarity, I haven't read any of them. I just saw that there's 13 in a row from Malik. Coy, who is a moderator and a real OG of Sleepers community, responded to this and said, expletive, 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 what are we doing here? If that was Coy's reaction, I'm going to assume that it's best for the program if I just don't read any of those 13 and move on. Malik, I love you, but this is not how we want this to operate. And there are two members of our community right now that just want 13 consecutive comments. That's an entire podcast episode. That's if this is going to continue, we will be forced to set limitations on day to day. I don't want to do that because I like a Malik Flurry. I like 3 to 4 comments here and there, but 13 in a row is insane. 13 in a row is just not how this operates. So we're gonna move on. We're gonna trust our mods read on this, who said just keep it moving. Purdue Fox says my rec league team is called the Purple Ponies, and the back of our jersey has to be the name of a famous horse, fictional or real. Which horse should I represent?
Who's the dude that won the Triple Crown and had the movie after him?
I am not a horse guy. Seabiscuit probably.
Seabiscuit, yeah. I like Seabiscuit.
It's a cool name. Lil Sebastian would be my nomination from Parks and Rec. Awesome horse. If not, Tarek Skubal. That's my horse, and I'm riding him to Game 5. Dreadhead Devereaux the King says, are we sleeping on SMU in the ACC? I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
But by default, maybe yes, because I don't care about SMU. All hail the Pope says, if Kentucky gets Tyron Stokes and Rippey, will Kentucky be the favorite in 2 years to win it all? Be a top 3 team in the country if you have Rippey and Stokes.
Yeah, I mean, on paper, I think it depends on what everybody else does, though.
Yeah, too many moving parts to know, but Rippey would be great. Sleeve has something for Riley here. He says, Riley, explain this to me. Why is Purdue ranked ahead of Houston in most polls? 6 months ago, they played, and Houston was clearly the better team for about 38 minutes. Plus, Houston's got the better coach. I'll take Kelvin Sampson over anybody. Honestly, I think the guys Houston has coming in are better than Purdue's newcomers.
I think if you feel that way about the newcomers, I think that's fair. I don't think bringing up the game 6 months ago really factors too much into like how they are right now, though.
The only part of it that I would disagree on is that Houston was clearly the better team. That was a tie game with a minute left, and you're right, it was a comeback from Purdue, but I thought that game was competitive and close throughout. The difference, too, is that I think Houston lost a lot of their best players, right? like some of Houston's key guys are gone. Juwan Roberts was key. Purdue's key guys are back. So even if you like their freshmen more, they have to replace more. But hey, it's a reason they're 1A and 1B. No one can agree on who's number one. I don't even think Purdue is technically ranked ahead of Houston in most polls, just some polls. More from Sleeve. A guy I'm worried about for Carolina is Caleb Wilson. He's super talented, but honestly, he plays dumb. He'll survive in the ACC, but against real coaches, he feels like a 3 for 12 with 4 turnovers type of guy.
Um, Maybe. I also want to say I don't think that's all Caleb Wilson's fault. I don't think he has a lot of people that can get him an easy bucket. I think he's going to have to do a lot of self-creation, which against like a Kelvin Sampson type could definitely make for a really rough game.
Okay. I don't know what to make of Caleb Wilson. I wouldn't say stupid is the word that comes to mind, but I don't know. I question if they want him to facilitate for sure. More from Sleeve. KJ with 8 points, 10 assists last night with a plus or minus plus 16. Will he get real minutes this season? I think he's in the rotation, probably. Yeah.
I think he's in the rotation in some capacity, especially to start. I think the bigger question is he in the rotation in February, like post-trade deadline?
Yeah. It was a really ugly summer, but this was a great performance for sure. Seems like he's finding his footing a little bit.
The Heat also stink, so he should be in the rotation a little bit for that reason too.
Probably true. Very true. All right, that's everything from the Discord today. Thank you, Discord. Join the Discord. Malik, once again, I'm sorry. I didn't that hurt me more than it hurt you. I promise you that. But 13, man. 13. It's just that's 13 times what you're supposed to do. We're gonna get to the show, but first a word from our sponsor. Dion, you okay? You look a little sweaty.
So every August, September, my air conditioning breaks, and there's just nothing I can do about it.
Dude, that's tough. Out in California too. Like, I mean, what is it, like 80 degrees still there today?
Today's gonna be like 85, 90, but like peak summer, it gets like 110. My AC just doesn't ever hold up.
I mean, it sounds like it's a bummer that you can't take advantage of Duncan Mechanical Solutions because Duncan Mechanical Solutions is an HVAC company based in Angola, servicing the tri-state area, bringing commercial quality to the residential world with excellent customer service. You heard us talk about Duncan Mechanical last summer. If you need heating or air conditioning, kitchen or bath remodeling, or all of the above, Duncan Mechanical is the place to go in the Midwest. Go to DuncanMechanicalSolutions.com to take advantage and make sure you don't wind up like Dion. For topic one today, given that there's a lot of media days and preseason awards being handed out this week, I thought it'd be fun to go through the 5 power conferences and basically nominate our preseason player of the year. I think a lot of these are going to be obvious or consensus. Some will be more up for debate. So, how I'd like to do this, I'd like to give out a gold medal for our preseason player of the year, but then a silver medal and a bronze medal. Basically, who's at the podium of possible player of the years in this conference. That work?
That's perfect.
All right, let's start with my favorite conference in America. It is the Big Ten. I think Braden has to be the gold on the podium, but I would listen to arguments for silver and bronze here.
Yaxel and Dent.
No TKR.
TK honorable mention. I personally don't believe you can have two players on the podium from the same team.
If it is just trying who's crowning the player of the year, I agree. Braden being one works against TKR. So in that sense, I'm probably okay with it. You like Yaxel 2, Dent 3?
Yeah,
No Sturts.
out on Sturts. I'm out on Sturts.
What's the argument for out on Sturts again?
I just think everybody's gone a little too high. I think we just need to pump the brakes. Let's see it play out. Preseason player of the year, I think that's too far for him. Now, if we come back in February, we might be having a different discussion if he lives up to the hype that everybody's claimed. But for me, Donovan Dent and Yaxel's production in game feels a lot more transferable to the Big Ten than like Sturts necessarily. I don't know why
Fair.
that might just be a me thing, but it just feel I feel more confidence in them being what we're expecting them to be.
I think that's probably real and fair, to be honest with you. So here's just a couple twists, and I'll let you make the executive decision on this. I think being on a really good team helps for most of this argument because I think the preseason of the player of the year is going to be on a really good team. So for my reasons, Sturts would be out of my top three just because I don't think Iowa's going to be good enough. I like Dent on UCLA better because I see a path to them being a top 10 team and him shouldering a huge load. The question here is with Michigan, do I actually think Yaxel's going to be like prominently the guy versus one of many good players? He should be. He's capable of being it, but all the things I've seen this summer don't really talk him up that way. Dusty May's almost done a lot of the Andrei Stojakovic type quotes of like, we don't need him to do everything anymore. He can just kind of fit in and be good. So I don't know. I kind of like Braden one. I like Dent for sure. Let me pitch you one other guy, and then I'll let you make the call on Yaxler or this guy. I like John Blackwell as a podium member here. I think the pitch is very straightforward. It's what John Tanji was last year, but I think Blackwell's arguably more talented and more of like an NBA prospect type that's going to finally get his chance. We've seen Greg Gard's system do this with Johnny Davis. We've seen him do it with Tanji. He's always spit out like first player of the year caliber player guys. Blackwell's talented as hell. He's going to be asked to do way more than Yaxel.
I agree with that. I think if you're the projected second best team in the conference, though, you have to have a guy on the podium, and Yaxel's the clear-cut guy from Michigan that would theoretically be on the program on the podium, which was my reasoning for it. But John Blackwell, I could see like having like better stats.
Yeah. Okay. I'll let you make the executive decision. What are we doing?
Let's go with Yaxel. And I do want to say, like, for Yaxel, you better be the man on this team because you passed up being a first round pick. So you better
So
be the man.
gold, Braden Smith. Are we going Donovan Dent, silver, bronze, Yaxel?
I like that.
I like that. All right. Moving to the Big 12.
DP.
JT Toppin is the unanimous favorite.
Yeah. Top in gold. I think DP silver. I'm going to say Devonta bronze.
Give me the pitches on the freshman. I mean, talent wise, for sure. I'm trying to think of if there's anybody else I would argue over them, just role wise or anything. Toppin
I
has to be gold, so I'm good
Top
there.
has to be gold. I think DP has the clearest avenue to like best player on the team, like gonna do the it's my alpha thing. I think he has the clearest path to being on the podium of the group because even top in like he might share some spotlight with Christian Anderson.
They going to be good enough?
Kansas, I'm pretty bought in on Kansas.
That my argument against DP would be that. DeBonsa, I actually have a harder time even seeing being here just because of who else is on the team. I don't think BYU is going to have a serious like player of the year candidate.
I think DeBon's only on the podium because I don't know the other alternatives. I might be missing some people though.
Well, if we think Houston's going to win the league, I think it would probably be Milos Uzan. If it's not Milos Uzan, I think there's an argument for PJ Haggerty just continuing to be an All-American and being awesome. Now, I think PJ Haggerty's team is going to stink. I tend to buy the second year transfer guard in a great team system. Like Uzan's numbers the second half of the year were crazy. So I think I would go JT Toppin, Milos Uzan, and Darren Peterson in some order. Toppin clearly gold. You can decide the order of the other two if you want.
I think DP too, just because if Kansas is good, like he's gonna win everything.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I am good with that. Let's do the ACC next.
I mean, Cam is gold, right?
You got Boozer and the rest of the Duke team. You got the Louisville guys, Conwell and Michael. You have, I guess you could convince me of taking Caleb Wilson or somebody on Carolina, but we're going pretty freshman heavy right now. Marcus Burton was awesome last year and will probably be in the mix. I
Is the
don't know that there's anybody else. I mean, Darion Williams and the NC State guys.
this the Ritter maybe?
You could go Virginia. Avdalas, the Virginia Tech guy too. It's a possibility. I think I think if we're going outside the big brand schools favorites here, Darion Williams would be the guy.
I think Cam Conwell Darion, And boy, does that not sound nearly as good as the last two conferences.
Conwell's the one I might need a pitch on. Um, let's go. You want to lock in Cam Boozer at gold,
Yeah, I don't think anybody else is too close to him.
and then silver Darion. Conwell's very good. Is he going to be better than Michael?
I think I lean just towards Conwell just because I feel like we're pretty freshman heavy with all this stuff.
This is true. All right, we'll go Ryan Conwell, Louisville next. It is a perfect system fit, so hopefully he gets a little better than he was last year. To the Big East. This one's hard for me to not just go a bunch of UConn guys, but
That's crazy.
I mean, you would think Zuby Ejiofor and or somebody else from St. John's are here. Zuby Ejiofor is the highest rated returning guy per KenPom last year. You could talk me into Owen Freeman taking the Kalkbrenner role at Creighton, getting better. You could make a pitch for any of the UConn guys, even though I think they're really balanced. I don't think anyone from Marquette or Xavier is going to be here. I mean, like Malik Mack, but that's getting stretchy.
I have no idea with this one. I mean, Caravan has to be on it in some capacity, right?
We might be past the point of like considering him the best player on UConn is the only thing.
True solo ball.
I think it'd be Solo or Terrace
Solo,
Reed, even as crazy as that sounds.
yeah. Solo, Terrace, Ejiofor, Bryce Hopkins are the first four names that came to mind. Devin Askew. No, I'm just kidding.
I think I want to call Zuby the best. I think I want to call Solo Ball second. And I think I want one of the Creighton guys third.
I'm cool
Because
with
we're
that.
actually talking about like winning the award.
Yeah,
The guy taking the Kalkbrenner role feels pretty like there's a door open there, you know?
yeah, I'm cool with that. Owen Freeman.
Owen Freeman as bronze.
Hopefully he's still playing by conference play.
I hope so too. Last but not least, let's do the SEC. Pettiford and Phylon are going to be loud here. Otega Owe is going to be loud here. You have the Florida backcourt. I will probably end up making a pitch for Jacoby Gillespie at some point here.
I feel like the easiest pathway I see is Otega Gillespie to Had.
Otega Gold.
Yeah, I think you just have to based upon last year.
They're going to be mad if we don't have Phylon here.
This is award solely based off conference play, right? Like non-con doesn't count.
I don't know. I think voters use different mentalities on that.
If it's solely conference play, like JQ could be involved in this too.
This is true. I think we can vote Otega Gold and say that's it for Kentucky guys. I think the smart answer, if we don't get cute, is just Pettiford and Phylon. I want to get cute with Gillespie, but he's got Ament on that team. You know, like it's probably more likely that it's just Phylon or Pettiford.
I'm cool with that.
So is Pettiford silver? I would have said that before Bruce Pearl left.
I think Phylon silver because Bruce Pearl left.
Okay, let's do it that way. Silver, LeBaron, Phylon, bronze, Tahad, Pettiford. That was a fun exercise.
That was fun.
That's going to play really well on a graphic that Booby makes 3.5 weeks from now. Topic 2 today, the 10 most interesting teams in college basketball. I'm talking solely intrigue. Now, this could be, they have to be like a certain level of good to get our attention, but I really don't think this has anything to do with how good the team actually is on the floor. I just want pure how interested are you in these groups as the season goes on. Take that however you want to, but we need a list of 10 at the end of this.
This might be the most perfect topic for me, maybe in the history of topics.
Players coach over here. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, lead me. Where are we going?
Illinois and BYU are 1 and 2. Easy. We have no
Why?
idea.
Why?
Illinois, we have no idea who's playing and who isn't playing. I have no idea if people are cleared. I don't know if people are injured. I just don't know. But boy, am I fascinated by it. It's like it's the reality. It's you know what Illinois is? Flavor of love. That's what Illinois is. It's a combination of Flavor of Love and I Love New York. It's the dating reality show you don't enjoy, and you're just like, why am I watching Flavor Flav? date 12 women at the same time. And you're like, you know what? I'm also not going to turn it off. And he has a little clock around his thing. It doesn't tell time. And that's what Illinois is, is you just can't turn it off and you don't want to. And it might turn out to be really good. And BYU, Devonta's is the most polarizing player I think we've seen in college basketball in quite some time.
Okay. I would you want your team to be described as flavor of love?
Probably not, to be honest with you, but it could work out. Hey, listen, Flavor Flav's still kicking.
It's like Flavor of Love did an international season. It's like we went to the Balkans for season 7 of Flavor of Love. Okay, Illinois won, BYU 2. I have no issues with that. I'm going to keep the ball in my stars' hands. Keep leading me.
I think three most interesting team, like the next one, St. John's. Because what are they? Right? Like St. John's is similar to Illinois. Like they could be really good, they could not be really good. It's the show you don't want to turn off. Four has to be Auburn because obviously the Bruce Pearl, Stephen Pearl stuff.
I'm afraid of how much I'm just like, yeah, you're right on all of this. Like you've said nothing I disagree with yet.
I mean, it's just like five. This one is probably the most interesting to me. North Carolina. If you told me North Carolina competes to win this conference, I would tell you you're correct. If you told me Hubert's fired in January, I would tell you you're correct. If you told me Belichick is coaching the team in March, I don't think I disagree with that either. I don't think anybody knows what Bubba's going to do next. We're in Bubba's world. All we got to do is live in it. Um, Six, probably Villanova.
Okay, I'm gonna need a pitch on Villanova. I mean, a Caden, yes. Willard, I guess, yes. But is it fun enough to be interesting?
Villanova might not be fun enough. Willard is fun though. Like
Okay.
Willard is intriguing to me because like he might actually be a good coach, and maybe Maryland just stunk.
So I have Villanova on the list. I might want to argue some of your next nominations jump them and they fall to like 10, but I'm okay with where we're at right now. Please continue.
NC State.
I was hoping you'd get to NC State. I want them ahead of Villanova, but behind
I
North Carolina. Actually, can we put NC State ahead of North Carolina just to piss North Carolina off?
I'm fine with that. Will Wade would want that too.
Right. And he deserves that. He's doing everything he can to get there. Okay.
Let's see.
There's one I'm shocked you haven't said yet that I know you're interested in this year. I think you'll get there on your own, but
Oh no. Oh, Kansas?
Kansas.
Yeah, I think Kansas is really interesting too for the Darren Peterson experiment of like what's that going to look like.
I would have liked Kansas, like as you were rolling these out in the top 5, but do you want them 7th behind North Carolina right now? Does that feel right?
Maybe we bump them in front of NC State.
Let's put Kansas 5. So we have Illinois 1, BYU 2, St. John's 3, Auburn 4, Kansas 5. All distinctly unique teams that are interesting for a very clear reason. NC State 6, North Carolina 7, Villanova 8. I still think Villanova might drop to 10. Otherwise, I completely agree where we're at. Keep going. Keep starring right now.
Let's see. This is where I this is where I think I'm going to differ from everybody, but Arizona to me is
That was the
really
next one in my head too. It was.
because I could see this is the year Tommy Lloyd finally does it. I think Tommy Lloyd could finally do it. I think the team's talented enough. I love Koa Pete. I think Koa Pete's extremely exciting to watch as well.
They are talented enough, 100%. I that was the next name that came to mind for me. Yeah, I have zero issues. We need one more, I think. I have nominations if we need them.
So I got three. The top of my list was Tennessee, but I have two others if you don't like Tennessee.
Tennessee wouldn't be on mine just because I think we know what they are, even though there's new faces involved. Go ahead and let me hear the others.
Florida and Memphis.
I don't think I care enough about Memphis. Tell me why Florida is interesting. I thought about them, but I went another direction.
Florida's interesting to me because like everybody kind of has them like top five. I do not. I'm not like a Xavier Lee guy. I think Boogie Flan to me it's hard for me to imagine like Arkansas got better after Boogie left. And now all of a sudden he's basically like the Walter Clayton replacement. The front court's phenomenal. Thomas Hughes great, but like are they going to live up to the preseason expectations based upon their last postseason run? I don't know. And if it doesn't work, does it fall apart in an insane way?
Could. Although I think there's just too much talent for it to fall that far off, but could. All right, I see that vision. I don't hate that vision. Let me throw out some other nominations that have me interested this year. Louisville. Just like, are there too many cooks in the kitchen in the backcourt while also knowing Mikel's going to be must-watch television, while also not knowing if the front court's going to be bad enough that it just falls apart anyway? I'm
Yeah.
interested in Louisville for sure. I think both USC and Washington belong around here just for the chaos of what they are. USC's really talented, and Baker Mazara is insane. And then Washington's like really, really a talented roster. If they had just a different coach, I think we consider them like a top 20 team right now. So I like both those as shouts. I think Virginia belongs here, given all the international flair they've went in on, and it's a new coach that everybody really likes. It's just hard to shake off the stigma of being Virginia basketball in a previous life right now. And I guess you could convince me that either Indiana or Iowa belong here. New coach, what are they? You have
Sac
windy
State.
fingers up.
Sac State.
You want Sac State at 10?
Mikey, Shakir, Mike Bibby, Shaquille O'Neal. What, bro? We have Quavo performing before football games right now. Little Yachty, Quavo, DDG. We're kind of popping. It's probably not actually Sac State because they're D2, but like Sac State's lit right now. It's probably USC. I can't believe I did a list and didn't include Chad Baker Mazar on it.
I say we lock in Sac State at 10. Here's our top 10 most interesting teams in college basketball: Illinois, BYU, St. John's, Auburn, Kansas, NC State, North Carolina, Arizona, Villanova, Sacramento State.
We're spending our NIL money on concerts and not players.
Dion, are you familiar with the KenPom H.U.M.A.N poll?
I'm not. I want to be though.
Yeah, well, let me help you. So this is year three of Ken Palm running something he calls the human poll. My understanding of how the human poll works is that it is a ranking of every single Division One college basketball team done by people. It's not just a top 25, not just a poll, but it is a ranking, much like Ken Palm's algorithm would spit out a ranking of every single team. However, it's conducted by humans and it is human input. It's an interesting project. He's done this 3 years now. This is the third year leading into this upcoming season. And how it works, I believe, basically, if you sign up to do this, and any KenPom subscriber can sign up to basically contribute and give their answers that leads to the results of this poll. What happens is he provides you with a series of one team versus another team prompts. Team A versus Team B. Your job is to go in and simply choose which team is better. That's it. That's all. Nothing else. And over time, after every single participant has a list of, I think they do 50. It might be more than 50. I don't remember the exact number. I didn't participate this year. I did it a couple of years ago. But in the end, after every person submits their answers, there's a weighted average that spits out the results. And we have the results this year. The KenPom Human Poll results for 2026 are Houston is the number one team in the country, ahead of Purdue. That caught a few people, including us, by surprise. Duke third, highest we've seen Duke anywhere. Florida four, UConn five, St. John's six, Kentucky seven, Michigan eight, Tennessee nine, Alabama 10. Onward, Texas Tech 11, BYU 12, Arizona 13, Gonzaga 14, Louisville 15, Iowa State, Kansas, Illinois at 18, Auburn, Arkansas, UCLA, Michigan State at 22, North Carolina 23, Creighton, and Oregon round out the top 25. I'm going to send you a link to the results from this so that you can see this as we discuss it. But as I talked through that, are you
I got them pulled
surprised?
up. You're good.
Okay, beautiful. Are you surprised by anything here from the human poll results?
Well, I was looking at West Virginia's like individualized results because you can see like who the humans like voted for people like to beat and whatnot, and that portion's really cool. So like I'm not it's West Virginia, so I won't get into it, but I just think like if anybody subscribes to KenPom, looking at that portion of the human poll is very cool. Um, I'm not that surprised. I mean, Florida's really high, in my opinion. Florida's really high. Other than that, I mean, Bama's pretty high. But other than that, like it feels pretty normal. Louisville at 15 feels a little low.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I can give a couple team specific shouts, but before I do, I'd like to give a reminder that last year the Human Poll winner leading into the season was UConn. The year before that, the Human Poll winner leading into the season was Kansas. So we are 2 years running here since this poll has existed. I don't know if this is the point Ken Pomeroy's trying to make or not. It's just an accurate result. Humans don't know how to rank things. That's the reality. If you remember last year, Dan Hurley was whining to everyone who would listen and even many who wouldn't listen that UConn was being undervalued in the polls. The human poll came out and UConn was one. UConn was terrible last year for much of the season, especially early in the year. So, look, I don't know. I would imagine that Houston is not going to fall far. In fact, the fact that the humans have finally caught up to Houston being number one may be an indicator that we're finally subscribing to what some of the analytics have told us. For like 5 years running, KenPom's had Houston as a top 3 or 4 team in the country. And I can't imagine they'd have the same fall that Kansas or UConn had before them. Some results that surprised me here, though, in various form. Number one, I am surprised Houston's ahead of Purdue. Just surprised by that. Duke at 3 feels high, especially after we saw some Duke scrimmage highlights. I've been adamant that Duke's been undervalued by the polls, but Duke at 3 feels a little above where I'd have them here. Um, BYU at 12 is a little low for my liking. Louisville at 15 is really low for my liking. Outside of that, I don't feel like there's many teams who are overrated here, more so teams that are underrated that jump out to me from this poll.
I mean, Sac State was 309. That feels low. Nah, but seriously, I mean, even Ole Miss 33, that feels a little low. Ohio State 32. I could see Ohio State being really good. And maybe I'm buying it a little too much. I know Diebler this is kind of like the Diebler experience, where it's like in October you really like them, in November you're like they should be the 60th best team in the country. But right now 32 feels too low. Indiana 34, I do believe is too low. I really think Indiana is going to be really good.
Yeah, I that's one to circle and come back to. NC State outside the top 25 too is interesting. A little skepticism to first year coaches, I think you could say. The human poll has Iowa all the way down at 39, below Maryland. That goes way against a lot of the Ben McCollum narratives from smart people that we've seen this offseason. I would like an explanation on this. So Kentucky was seventh. My Michigan Wolverines team was eighth in this poll. And it shows you the results of like how many wins teams got. Kentucky overall had 156 wins and 171 losses. Michigan had 194 wins and 132 losses against top 10 opponents. Kentucky had 47 wins and 130 losses. Michigan had 41 wins and 61 losses. So 6 less wins and 70 less losses, and Michigan's behind Kentucky? I'm just confused by that. I mean, like Kentucky had a losing record in this poll and is one. Now it must just be that I don't know, the matchups that KenPom auto generated here must have valued Kentucky like a top 10 team and put them against the top 10 a ton. And they got their shit handed to them because humans aren't betting on Kentucky to beat top 10 teams. But I don't know. That just feels a little like almost like it's strength of schedule based that Kentucky ended up with a losing record yet ahead of Michigan in this poll based on the results I see here. I'm confused by it.
What's interesting about it, so I'm looking at Duke's voting summary. Duke went 21 and 3 against Kentucky. Michigan went 7 and 3 against Kentucky.
Yeah, that's interesting to me.
Like that feels like a pause. Like Michigan should be above Kentucky for like reasons like that.
7-3 against Kentucky with 40 more wins overall, 40 less losses, a better record by percentage by like 20% against top 10, and we're behind Kentucky. This is a human poll, isn't it? Must be, because I'm just confused on how that one comes together. Do you think at the end of the year the humans are going to be right and Houston's going to be number one per the actual analytics?
Per the analytics, yeah, I do.
They have the highest floor for sure, I think.
Yeah, I think if they're like top 10 offensively, they will be number one defensively. And I think Purdue's defense has like a much lower ceiling.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. Okay. All right. Shout out to Ken Pomeroy. A really fun exercise that he's been doing every single offseason. One big thing presented by Duncan Mechanical Solutions. What do you have?
One big thing, basketball. It feels good that we're almost back. We're 12 days away from the NBA tipping off. We're like just over or just under a month away from college basketball tipping off. Um, Message to football. That was fun. You had a good run. Baseball, glad it's over. Hockey, apparently you just started. No one knew that. The real sport's back. We can finally move on from pretending like we wanted to bet baseball, we wanted to bet football. No, we didn't. No, we didn't. We got Warriors Lakers on Peacock in 12 days. We got Kentucky Louisville at the Yum in like just under 30 days. Like the time is now.
Great energy. I love that. One big thing, speak for yourself. Because I plan on betting playoff baseball for 2 more weeks. Okay. My team in the ALCS, after my ace does what my ace is going to do tonight at 8:07 p.m. Eastern. And listen, one more message for our bitch ass fan base. And yeah, I'm sorry I'm getting spicy, but I'm annoyed with this nonsense. Dion, we had a 60% capacity crowd in Comerica Park for game 4. This entitled, whiny ass fan base who can't resist the urge to tweet about how much they hate our core before our core rattles off big swing after big swing to send us to a game 5. Riley Green heard the critics and he sent that bitch 457 feet to right. Javi Baez has been thrown under a train of just humiliation and hatred from Tigers fans for the better part of 4 years. This dude lives in October. He's fueled by October. And if you actually think all these players stink this much, how can you be this miserable in game 5 of the ALDS? Like, again, I know I keep going on record with this, but I'm so annoyed after being in Comerica in game 3 and seeing it for myself, how much this city has given up on this team. It's insane. Like, we need to somehow go back to what we had a year ago mentally as a fan base where we were just the underdog and we enjoyed this. And I understand it's easier to do that when the players play well. But good Lord, this team was down 3-0 with 15 outs left in their season and a crowd that wasn't even physically present, and they spit out a 9-run comeback full of big swing after big swing by every player that the fan base has wanted off the roster for 2 months. Like, come on. Let's win game 5. The ball's in the hands of the best pitcher in baseball. Tarek's got us. He cannot lose twice in this series to this team. I don't care how good Seattle is. This team is going to the ALCS on my shoulders, and I need Tigers fans to get their heads out of their fucking ass when we do get there, because I need y'all. Toronto's good, and I need y'all.
60%.
60%, Dion.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Like that. I get, listen, I said what I said about baseball, and I still think that's disrespectful. Giants playoff games 2010, 2020, 2012, 2014. It could have been 11 a.m. That thing was filled.
We got beat writers whining about Riley Green's approach 5 minutes before he sends the game-winning homer to right field. We got the fan that was there, the 60%, booing the players as Javi steps up to send one to the second deck. This fan base is just entitled. And I get I'm part of the fan base, but like somewhere along the way, we decided that this team should win a World Series. They shouldn't. Like, we are so fortunate to be here, and we're here because this team had the best record in baseball and 6 All-Stars who had never made an All-Star game before this year because they were all playing above their level for months. Enjoy it. Embrace it. Tarek, take us there. I want 2 more weeks of this shit. We're right there, and I hope this fan base enjoys it.
I mean this respectfully to you, G, because I don't count you in this. Detroit fans are probably the most insufferable fan base on Twitter. Like, it's bad.
I've never been like annoyed with one of my own fan bases before. But like, I'm just in a group chat with Cart and Z Hirth, who we went to the game with, and every single day we just send tweets from people in this fan base that just can't handle being down 1-0 in a playoff game. It's crazy. It's crazy to me. Enjoy this, people. Enjoy this. We have Tarek Skubal with The Rock in a game 5. We're not losing. And if we do lose, I will also call all of our players losers and say they don't want it enough. We'll see y'all tomorrow.